Hare Krishna, welcome everybody. We are continuing on our deep dive and memorization of Bhagavad Gītā. And we are, let me see, I think we are on that very important
23, 7.23.
Yeah, that's a very important, that's a very famous verse. It's all about don't go for the fruits that are gonna get old. Do you like eating old fruits? No? No. Who wants to eat old fruits? There's all, you have all these avocado memes. Where you look at the avocado and it's like perfect, it's perfect, it's perfect. And then you turn your head and you look back and it's old already. So this verse is about that subject, the perishability of avocado. So I said it just last night. It was like a really late send. Okay, 2 more people coming in. Dana K. And we got a Matt and Mary. Welcome, Matt and Mary. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Very good. Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling from.
There we go. We're back online. All right. So we are welcoming Matt. Matt, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thanks for having me.
It looks like he's in a famous rock band. He's got all these instruments there. Are you guitar?
Oh, right. Yeah. Not famous rock band, no.
Not yet.
But lots of instruments.
Are you a guitarist, a bassist?
Yeah, I play guitar, and my wife plays bass. She plays.
Oh, wow.
Maybe we should have you come over and play these things in our kirtan.
Oh yes.
Absolutely.
Bass and kirtan is really cool. Bass, you can just pull bass right into the kirtan.
Sure.
Where are you calling in from?
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. PA. Nice. My wife, we were there actually. I was taking a Krishna kind of leadership course in West Virginia, and my wife took a bus in Pittsburgh to New York City. And so while she was there, I don't know, you probably remember this, a sinkhole in the middle of the city swallowed a bus up. Not her bus.
Right. It was like 5 years ago, I think, right?
Yes. She was walking down the street, they turned, and it looked like something out of a movie. There's like a bus like kind of popped out of the
Yeah. Pittsburgh's known for swallowing up buses, the earth here. Like just 2 weeks ago, a bus got a bridge collapsed.
Oh my God.
And luckily no one was killed. However, a bus got swallowed up in it. But the bus was halfway up, so the bus driver was able to get out.
Oh my God.
I think there were 2 people on the bus. So half of the bus, it was one of those double buses. Half of it was down with the rest of the bridge, and half of it was kind of pointed up. So the whole bridge, and they got out. But yeah.
Yeah, that's how she said it was just like that. It was kind of swallowed up halfway.
Yeah, I remember that well.
It was just
What's all these accidents going on? I don't understand these angles, whatever.
So in his city, there sometimes they have sinkholes. Sinkholes is when the whole ground just goes.
How?
Yeah.
Here,
it happens when there's a lot of rain, and then the earth moves, and it creates like spaces under the road, and then the road gets weak and it fell in.
Okay, I'm gonna find a picture for you, Karuna.
Okay.
Just so you know what we're talking about. Okay, 1 second, ready? And then we'll jump.
By the way, today, a few days ago, it was like maybe a few weeks ago, it was raining. We were walking. I was walking in the eek.
Yeah, you see, the ground was eating buses.
Yeah.
Nice.
This is not real, is it?
No, that is
Real,
definitely
yeah.
that is definitely real. And we have Nagashayan Prabhu, Hare Krishna. So Dorita and Matt, we are currently on the chapter 7. And have any of you seen the book Bhagavad Gītā in acronyms?
No.
Okay, it's a really cool book. Have you seen it, Dorita?
What I don't understand the last word. Academy? Academy?
Acronyms. Acronyms is like, ISKCON, International Society for Krishna. Acronym is like when you take letters and each letter has a meaning.
Okay, no.
So there's a devotee. If you go to the calendar link, I think you received a Google Calendar invite for today's class. In the description, there's a link to an email, and in the email there are books you can download. And one of the books is Bhagavad Gītā in acronyms. And what the devotee did, Sutapa is a big scholar, brilliant author, is he took the sections of the chapters and he put them in. Oh my Krishna that's an example of an acronym. Yes. Oh my Krishna, OMK.
It's great. I've actually used acronyms to try and learn them before.
Oh, this guy is brilliant though.
Just like the first letter of, it kind of,
he does such a good job.
that's great.
Sometimes you have acronyms that it's just a bunch of letters, but it's cool if the acronym is a word that actually relates to the subject too. That's also powerful.
Right.
Like here's one that I found in my son's school book, but it's actually also the exact same message that Krishna gives in chapter 17. That is called THINK. You think before you speak. And that's in Bhagavad Gītā chapter 17. Krishna talks about the austerities of speech. And he says, Anudvegam karam bhakyam satyam brihitam chayat swadaya payasanam chaiva vanmaya tappa uchate. And so the meaning is paralleled in this thing that was in my son's elementary school book. So think, the T stands for when you speak, you should speak something truthful. Now someone will think, well, it's, I can go to somebody and say, I think you have a big fat nose. That's the truth. But then the next one is H. Is it helpful? And then is it I? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary? And is it kind? And then there's one little thing we add at the end. We thinks. The devotee, he thinks. The S stands for sastra. When we are referring to like spiritual topics, we give our source information. So he thinks. So similar, this chapter 7, it's divided into 4 sections. Does anybody remember what's the acronym for chapter 7? Chapuji.
No, I was thinking about chapter 15 home, but I don't remember chapter 7.
Chapter 15 is very easy. That's a good one. That really sticks a little easier. Dana K, do you remember what is the acronym for chapter 7? It is.
Okay. So I remember the head part.
Yes.
And then we're okay.
Yes.
Okay. I was like, I know I remember that. But
So the first 3 verses are about hearing.
I think you caught all of us with that acronym on 7.
Yes. So the first 3 verses are about hearing. Then the verses 4 all the way to verse 11 are about Krishna's various energies, how he is everywhere. Then verses 12 up until, where does it go to? 12 to 19 go to why and who accept and
I don't understand. Bhagavad Gītā goes only 18 chapters.
Yeah, I'm talking about the verses in chapter 7.
Oh.
1 to 3, 4 to 11, 12 through 19 talk about,
But that's Bahunam Dharmanam Ante.
yeah, that talk about who accept and reject Krishna. Those, and so Bahunam Janmanamante are people who accept. And
Okay.
here, the last section, verses 20 through 30, are about demigods, the worship of demigods. And so he starts off saying that a person who's kamastaster shrittagyana, their knowledge has been pulled away, has been taken, has been stolen, driven by desire, their desire has taken away their intelligence. They go to the devatas, and the devatas provide things that are temporary. Those who are sincerely seeking the eternal won't go to the devatas seeking something temporary. They may honor like different demigods. Like, does anybody have an example of a great Vaishnava in the Bhagavatam worshiping a demigod? You have any examples? Kapuji? One of them is the gopis. This is also a Krishna book. They prayed to Katyayani, who is Durga, please let us have Krishna as our husband. That was their prayer. So it's their prayer to the demigod was related to their bhakti, or their eternal relation with the Supreme. So this verse here, this whole section here is Krishna's he's dogging on that fruitive approach towards spirituality, where you do some puja, do some austerity, do some worship of one of Krishna's empowered beings, the demigods, because you just want something temporary. So let's just open up the verse. Any questions there? Matt G, does this all make sense? So
yes. Can I?
You're familiar with?
That first acronym you were talking about, think?
Yeah.
What was the I?
Inspiring.
Inspire. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
You basically have kind of a balance of sensitive and sensible. And sometimes you might have to go a little bit more on one side. Like if you see somebody is maybe they're, I guess, intoxicated, or I don't know, maybe they're playing a game and they had their blindfold on. They're about to walk off a wall or some ditch, and they're gonna fall. You probably don't want to speak to them in a very inspiring and kind way. You probably want to like just yell, scream, "Hey, watch out! You're gonna fall!" But say you have like your somebody passed away in your family. At that time, you probably want to just be kind and not be truthful. To say, well, she was not her body. That might not be very. Maybe we speak like that in a certain sense, but it has to be full of kindness. Otherwise, it becomes very cold. So sometimes there's a balance of that in various situations. But those are the elements that we want to see in our speech. And that's something that Krishna talks about in chapter 17. That's a verse in the Gita. But it was cool to find it in my son's textbook. Okay. So this subject is this all making sense? Any questions so far?
Not from me.
Okay, let me pull up the verse. I'll share the screen. Okay, we're going to take away the bus picture. No more bus picture. All right, let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger. Move this. So anta, antavat, perishable. What does anybody remember what English word comes from this? We get from this word anta. Where have you seen that word? Anybody? Anybody seen that root? Does that sound familiar?
No, but something familiar from the verse is falam.
Haruna, do you know any very exalted devotees that wrote over 100 books that has this anta in their name? He wrote over 100 books, and he has a disciple named Indradyumna Swami. And he has a disciple named Vaisheshika Prabhu. And he started. Yeah, what is Prabhupada's full name?
It's Bhaktivedanta.
Anta, Bhaktivedanta. Yes, yes. And so what does Vedanta mean? Chapuji.
I think she's not here.
Okay, I see just like some, looks like a thumb or something. I don't know. Gosh, what is Bhakti Vedanta mean, or Vedanta?
Veda.
Prakashji.
The Vedas.
The question is here. Prakash is on the hot seat.
Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Everyone. Sorry, I'm a little late. Vedanta. So, knowledge of the Vedas, or Bhakti Vedanta would be devoted to the Vedas.
Okay, so what English word is anta? Any guess yet? Anybody got it? Dorita? Anta. Anta is where we get the English word and. The end, the conclusion, the final stop. And so antavat means something has endness, like it's just has this quality of ending. So therefore it's perishable. So what is the end of all knowledge? What's the conclusion? Vedanta is bhakti. Bhakti Vedanta. Okay, so antavatu palam tesham. Okay, let's see. This is an easy one for you.
Can I tell you something?
You have to tell me, what does palam mean?
Fruit.
Yes, yes.
You know why I know? Because I was in another Zoom for kids, and I had to memorize the
Patram Pushpam.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 1, Text 3. The first line is Nirgama Kalpatarol Galitam Phalam.
Phalam, yeah. Nice, nice. So in India, and in more of the modern words, this would be pronounced phalam. Phalam is fruit. But if you want to go for the more traditional Sanskrit, is phalam. Phalam, without the F sound. So phalam, fruit, and they sound very similar. You can see that. So antavat. So what kind of fruit is it? It is a perishable fruit. Okay, so let's just go through the verse and we'll read it and we'll go back to it. Antavatu palam teshan tadbhavati alpa, very little, medasam devan devo yajo yanti mad bhakta yanti mamapi. Men of small intelligence worship the demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of the demigods, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet. So some commentators on the Bhagavad Gītā say that one who worships a demigod can reach the Supreme Lord. But here, it is clearly stated that the worshippers of the demigods go to the different planetary systems where the various demigods are situated. This is a worshiper of the sun achieves the sun, or a worshiper of the demigod of the moon achieves the moon. How do you say moon in Sanskrit, Chapuji?
Shashi.
Shashi, yes, yes. Also, Chandra.
Chandra.
Yes, yes, yeah. Yeah, Shashi, that was a big topic. We went and covered that a lot. It's rabbit, but because if you look at the shadows, it looks like there's a rabbit on the moon. Okay, he can go to particular. Similarly, if one wants to worship a demigod like Indra, he can go to that particular god's planet. But it's not that everyone, regardless of whatever demigod is worshipped, will reach the supreme personality of Godhead. That is denied here. For it is clearly stated that the worshiper of the demigods go to the different planets of in the material world. But the devotees of the Supreme Lord goes directly to the supreme planet of the personality of Godhead. Does anybody know a verse in the Bhagavad Gītā that's saying the same thing in chapter 9? So that basically that whole paragraph is chapter 9. I think it is text 25. Yanti Deva Prata Devan Bhutan Yanti Deva Prata Devan Bhutan Yanti Deva Prata Devan. Okay, my brain is going very slow this morning. Sorry, let me just open it up.
You know so many shlokas, more than all of us.
Why? It didn't work that time.
Yes, but you recite so many before.
Yeah, it was 25. Yanti Deva Brata Devan Briti Yanti Briti Vita Bhutani Yanti Bhuteja Yanti Mam Yajinopimam. So he says those who worship the demigods go to the planets of the demigods. Those who worship the forefathers go to the planet of forefathers. Those who worship the Bhutas. What's a Bhuta? Prakash.
What is a Bhuta?
Prakashji, what is a Bhuta? Chapuji.
A ghost.
Ghost, because they go boo. So that's called a Bhuta. Those who worship ghosts, people do. Sometimes they worship dark things. They go to the planet, they become a ghost. But then he says, those who worship me, come back to me. And then in the same chapter, and also chapter 15, he says the same thing, but he says that the difference is that when you come back to my home, when you come to Vrindavan, when you come to the spiritual world, when you go back to Goloka or Vaikuntha, that is a place that has no more, that's the final stop. You don't have to take birth again. The subject is discussed in chapter 9, text 21 and 22. Krishna says, and I can recite the Sanskrit, but I don't want to go too long. He says that those who follow the proper procedures of worship can go to the higher planets and then drink the delicious somaras. It's like a nectar that makes your body very strong and vital. And you can enjoy as a demigod. That's verse 20. Verse 20. But then 21, chapter 9, Krishna says, but Shine Punye Martilokam Vishanti. When your karma, when your good credit is gone, when you run out of that credit, Martya Loka, Martya is death, Loka, world, and that's called earth, where people live very short lifespans. Vishanti, you fall back to this world. So, Prakash, imagine that you are on a Caribbean cruise and you're enjoying. Why not just stay there? Tell me, why wouldn't you just stay there on the cruise?
Well, how will I get to Krishna from there?
Okay, you're going too deep.
Is it easier than that?
Why can't you stay on the cruise?
Because you can only stay there as long as you have money, which will eventually run out because it's temporary.
Yeah, your money runs out. So Krishna in that chapter 9, verse text 21, he's saying, when your karma runs out, your good karma runs out on the higher planets, Martyaloka, Shine Punya. Punya is good karma. When your good karma runs out, you end up back on Earth. And he says, you know, for example, if you go on a Caribbean cruise, at least maybe you get like a souvenir. But if Dorita was like Lord Indra in her past life, she's got no souvenirs to like enjoy. Oh, I was Indra. I did this. Like you didn't gain anything. It's already gone. Like it's kind of like you become a demigod, but then your next life, you're just stuck in, you know, Dallas, Texas. You're like in a miserable place. So, so he's saying the same right here, that you can take birth in all these different planets, but if you take birth in Krishna's abode, this is, is the Chapuji still here? Let's see. Chapuji, she's still here. Do you remember na nivartante? It's like twice in chapter 15.
Yeah.
He says, you come back to me, you don't return to this world. So that's the difference of, so it says,
what if you go to Vaikuntha, and if you go to Vaikuntha, is there at least one chance of coming back to the material world?
oh, you won't do it. No, you won't.
Because my mom told me there's a very small my mom told me that if I go to the spiritual world, I'll never come back. But if I go to like Vaikuntha, or like be like a star in the air, like
saying the Brahma Jyoti,
there's
the
a very
Brahma
small
Jyoti.
chance of coming back.
Yeah, she's saying the Brahma Jyoti, the effulgence. But if you're a Vaikuntha, that means you're like, you're not, it's higher than just becoming the effulgence. So what Karuna is mentioning is if you go to the spiritual world, but not in a bhakti sense, that you achieve impersonal liberation, that you can go there, but because by the very nature of the soul is it wants to love and interact, there's a good chance that you'll end up back in the material world because you want to interact, and you're a person who's achieved impersonal liberation did not get there by the process of loving interaction with Krishna or with Vishnu or whatever form he's appearing. So it's kind of like, for example, Matt, if you can imagine, you are in some terrible storm in Pittsburgh. Do you have those what do you call it, kind of ATM rooms in the bank where you use your card to get in the room, and then there's an ATM, like when the bank's closed, like it's an empty room with just an ATM.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can imagine, if it's a terrible storm, you go to that room, and then maybe it subsides a little bit. It's just raining and raining and raining. But after a few hours, maybe 5 hours, you're like, I don't care that it's miserable. It's boring being alone in this like ATM room. And so you enter back into the misery of the storm, just so you can like find somebody, you know, go to your friend's house or something else, you know, like it's to get being alone in the empty ATM room is not enough, even though it's you're away from the misery. You've achieved liberation, freedom from the misery. You're not satisfied. So similarly, the soul who has achieved the spiritual world, but just as like a particle of energy, and not in a sense of taking the original spiritual form where you relate in a devotional way, you don't really feel fully satisfied. So, and there's not really as a way for the particle to start developing a relationship with the Supreme in that sense. So you come back to the material world, and there's a Bhagavatam verse in relation to that. So we'll continue reading. So he's saying, yeah, it's not that if you worship any demigod, and this is kind of addressing, he says that's denied here, for it's clearly stated the worship of demigods go to the different planets in the material world, but the devotee of the Supreme Lord goes directly to the Supreme Planet of Krishna, this personality of Godhead. So question here, is anybody, Matt G and who, Dorita, I think here, yeah. So this is addressing a concept of Mayavada philosophy. Advaita Vedanta. Are you familiar with that? Rita is nodding her head. Matt G is nodding his head. So Matt, can you, we're going to put you on the hot seat. Can you give us like a little example of it?
Well, I guess Advaita means not two.
Yeah, there you go.
And Vedanta would be
conclusion of the Vedas.
Conclusion of the Vedas. So I guess it's a way of, it's a philosophy, a way of thinking of interpreting the sacred literature, right?
Nice, thank you, thank you. And particularly the author, not author, but the acharya for Advaita Vedanta, Shankaracharya. And what you find in the Vedas is you find both subjects are clearly explained. The unity of everything, the oneness of everything, that's clearly explained in Vedic literature. Like in the Bhagavad Gītā, Krishna says, one with the sees with the mode of goodness, he sees like the unity of all beings. And one who's in the mode of passion, which is a little bit lower, he sees, okay, there is a Colombian, there is a El Salvadorian, you know, they'll like put a different, they'll see according to that level. So the Vedas speak about the unity of everything, but then there is a second thing. They also speak about the Dvaita, the distinction between Bhagavan, the powerhouse and the power are the energies and the energetic, the Shakti and the Shaktiman. There's the unity of everything and simultaneously the distinction of everything, the difference that there's, that Chapuji actually exists. She is an individual being. That's actually the first verse of the Bhagavad Gītā is, I'm forgetting the Sanskrit right now, but Krishna says, never was a time when I did not exist, nor you, Karuna, nor Chapuji.
That verse.
Okay, what is it? It is
Natvevaham.
Tatvevaham jatu nasham
Natvevaham
namam.
janadipa natvayami bhavishyamam shamevaya matam param.
Yes, yes, yes. So that's the first point, is that the Krishna is upholding the eternal nature of our individuality. But if we have kind of an absolute Advaita understanding, it's the idea that you do not exist. You're not a person. You are part of the cosmic energy blob. You're just part of the oneness. And in that kind of philosophical take, it doesn't matter whom you worship, Ganesh, your whoever, because actually none of those, it's all just oneness. There is no supreme higher than you. You're just trying to realize yourself as the oneness of everything. And so that's what we're looking at the commentary. That's what one of the misconceptions that is being addressed here, is that there is a being above us. There is a distinction, and therefore who the personalities are have importance. Just like we may give Karuna a gift and we may give Prakash a gift, but because they're different people, we consider something different. Like if we gave Prakash a tiny little dress, it would not really be very helpful to him. But maybe if we gave Karuna a tiny little dress, it would be perfect for her. She's excited, see? All right, so here the point may be raised. The demigods are different parts of the body of the Supreme Lord, and this same end should be achieved by worshiping them. However, the worshiper of the demigods are less intelligent because they don't know what part of the body food must be supplied. So if you're hungry, you just take some food, put it in your nose or your ears. Some of them are so foolish that they claim that there are many parts and many ways to supply food. This isn't very sanguine. Can anyone supply the food to the body through the ears or the eyes?
No, of course not.
Yes, but Krishna can actually. Then there is a verse.
Of course. Krishna can do anything.
Yeah. They do not know that these demigods are different parts of the universal body of the Supreme Lord, and in their ignorance they believe that each and every demigod is a separate god and a competitor to the Supreme Lord. So this is misunderstanding. Not only the demigods parts of the Supreme Lord, but the ordinary living entities are also. So we are part of Krishna also. And the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that the Brahmanas are the head, the Kshatriyas are the arm, the Vaishyas are the waist, and the Shudras are the legs. So these are the intellectuals, those who have leadership tendencies, those who are kind of business-minded, and those who want to work, like as employees. They all serve different functions. You see, Karuna is going through ecstasy there. Regardless of the situation, if one knows that both the demigods and he himself are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, his knowledge is perfect. But if he doesn't understand this, he achieves different planets where the demigods reside. This is not the same destination the devotee reaches. The result achieved by the demigods' benedictions are perishable, because within this world, the planets, the demigods, the worshippers are all perishable. Okay? Therefore, it's clearly stated in this verse that the results achieved by worshiping the demigods are perishable. Therefore, such worship is performed by a less intelligent living being. So that's referring to this alpa. Prakash can tell you, or we have, who is Naga Shayan is here. If you go to India.
Where's Gauranga Nishtadas?
Where is Gauranga Nishta? I don't know. So what happens? What happens when you go to someone's house in India and they feed you? Do they feed you a little bit or a lot? They're going to. They want to see you completely full. You have to put your hand over your plate and say, or maybe if you want a little bit more, you say, what do you say? Swalpam. Is that correct? Who do we have? Prakash, Hindi bolte? No, Prakash is not Hindi bolte. Naga Shayan.
What does that mean? Hindi Montam.
Hindi bolte means you do speak Hindi.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yes, it is true.
So you say this.
What does Hindi Montam mean?
Hindi bolte, bolo means to speak. And
yeah, bolo means
bolte means do you speak Hindi? And Prakash said no, he doesn't speak Hindi. But Naga Shayan, he is resident there in South India, so he knows the language.
Yeah, I know Hindi, Prabhu. Yeah.
So swalpam, correct? It's a swalpam.
Yeah, swalpam means enough. Like it's also like whenever someone is feeding you more, as you said, we will say swalpam. Yeah, swalpam. You keep swalpam. Yeah, yeah.
Especially the grandmas, they want to feed you so much, So you have to say, yeah. Mataji, swalpam, swalpam.
Yeah, Prabhu, correct.
Yes. And they will say, but you haven't eaten anything. You've not eaten anything. And you ate like already 2 plates, but they say, no, you have not eaten anything. They become very happy when they see you very full. So, and what is this? Karuna is going through total ecstasy. I don't know if you can see her camera, but she's going like a whirling dwarvish. Okay, who knows what this Medasam? Nagashayan.
Prabhu, Medasam means intelligence, I think.
Intelligence. And I also heard this as brain substance.
Yeah, we can say, yeah. Medas means intelligence, we can say. Medas. Yeah.
So a person who doesn't have very little, meager intelligence, they're looking after what, Matji? I know you're just
Perishable fruit.
Perishable fruit, yeah, see? You see how knowing the words really brings it out? You don't have to be a Sanskrit grammatical scholar. As we progress, so many of these words are repeated and repeated and repeated. So just knowing a few words can cause us to remember an authentic version of the translation. And that way, when we chant this, it's not, and it's important to try to memorize this, the English. And I was, after teaching the class for some time, I realized, well, I've been reading these books for quite some time. So I've heard the translation so many times. So it may be more familiar to me than others. But if we are familiar with some of the words, then we will be able to remember what is it translating. So perishable fruits, tesham as a word means those. So those who are small brain, they're looking for perishable fruits. They worship demigods at the yaja means worship, and yanti means to go. And so they'll go there. But my bhakta, my devotee, yanti maam api. My devotee certainly comes to me. See how it's quite simple. Everybody see that? Dorita, you see it? Any guess what mam means? You can see here? Me, yeah. My bhakta comes to me. My bhakta, yanti. So if we remember yanti, we're singing again, and then we'll see in other verses sometimes, comes to me. My bhakta comes to me. Certain and obvious just means like an emphasis also, or certainly. Everybody seeing that? And so that's one thing that we do, is we try to try to dig into the verse, see as much as we can learn about it. And then we start practicing. I think we're just about there. I've been reading for a while. Oh, Anna Ciro, somebody's coming in here. Okay, I'll read this last paragraph. The results achieved by the demigod's benediction are perishable, because within the planets of the material world, because within this material world, the planets, the demigods, the worshippers are also perishable. I already read that, correct? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because the pure living entities engage in Krishna consciousness and devotional service of the Supreme Lord achieves eternal blissful existence that is full of knowledge, his achievements, and those of the common worshipper of the demigods are different. The Supreme Lord is unlimited. His favor is limited, and favor is unlimited. His mercy is unlimited. Therefore, the mercy of the Supreme Lord upon his pure devotees is unlimited. Hare Krishna, Anna Ciro. Is that correct?
Ciro.
Yes, that's correct. How are you? How are you, everyone? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, ¿tú hablas español?
Sí, hablo español.
Wow. Where are you calling in from?
We are in Cali. I just saw Dorita. Yes, I'm in Cali.
Nice.
Turn on the video. Sorry, I arrived late because I was making breakfast to my daughter.
Oh, I think I've seen you in a class with Chapuji.
With Raghunath.
No,
yes.
It was Raghunath. Yeah. Oh my God, you have all the amazing story. Oh my God.
Yes. I live in Cali. I met everyone in the ashram where Dorita is right now. So yes, thank you for having me.
Welcome. If any of you haven't seen Anna's interview, go see it on Wisdom Sages. It's maybe
I
like,
saw it, pretty intense.
yes, very intense, very intense.
Hello, Corona. How are you?
Good, I'm good. Thanks. How are you?
Good. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Karuna's been-
Sorry.
She's been spinning constantly. She's like in ecstasy.
No, she's always asking me like, please turn on the camera. I want to see you. I want to see you and your daughter. Here is my daughter right now. He loves cameras. He loves being in the video.
Nice.
So now, thank you. I'm sorry for interrupting. I arrived late, kind of late to the class.
So I'm going to ask everybody before we start practicing, please share some feedback on this verse. So we'll start with Prakashji. Just some tell us something.
So it's kind of I'm trying to connect it to the previous two verses where can you still see me? I'm not sure if I've frozen or if you've frozen.
Yeah, you're there.
Cool. So in the previous verses, it was very much worship of the demigods and fruit from worshipping the demigods is bestowed by Krishna.
Yes.
So then on this one, in this verse, it's sort of, I think it's a kind of a subtle change, but it's just in this verse, then it's like, well, I understand it as, well, why would you worship the demigods? Because I'm the supreme being. But then I feel like that could have been said already. If that makes sense. So the previous verses are kind of almost saying, well, those who worship the demigods, or, I'm holding worship of the demigods kind of steady. I'm helping those people. So
I think it seems like it's the conclusive verse of the section.
Yeah, so I suppose this is the kind of the head verse of it.
Yeah, so for verse 20, he's explaining the motivation, being impelled by desire. Verse 21, he talks about how he supplies the faith, that he makes it happen because he's in the heart and he gives the faith. Verse 22, he says, and I also give the result too. I give the boon.
Mm.
And then he gives like a conclusive there here in 23. It seems like you still have a question, I feel.
No, I think it is. Those are the other two were just the kind of the teasers to it. But yeah,
conclusive and summary also.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Matt, we'll start with Dorita. Any feedback on this? Any questions? Something you want to take home?
I'm so new in this, and I don't know. I don't remember the before text, okay. But even in the before text, they say the Bhagavad Gītā say that if I worship the demigods, also that material things comes from Krishna, the same.
Yeah.
Like fuente. I don't know how you say fuente.
Yes.
Source, something like that. And now you know that if you do worship to demigods, you go to that planet, and the devotee of Krishna go to Krishna. So I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Matt G, any reflections, questions?
Well, that made me think of to Rita's point, that when you think of demigods in the world is kind of like great forces. Like you have Surya, who's like god of the sun. It's like elemental forces. You know, we can place a lot of hope and, you know, in those things, but at the same time, those are perishable too, right? They're part of the material world, you know. And but if we go to Krishna, it's that higher thing, but it's beyond this. It's pure spirit, right?
I
Made
think
me
it's
think of that, like that whole analogy of perishable fruit. I think is where was it in the purport? He said, the results achieved by the demigods' benedictions are perishable because within this material world, the planets, demigods, and their worshippers are all perishable. Kind of keeps that in perspective, where we can tend to think of these great things in the world like they'll always be there, you know. But
I think it's quite shocking to think that we are older than the sun and the sky.
Yeah,
the sun is, you know, it's like that. See that billion-year-old sun? You know, you're older than it. Like, what? It's a great shock. I can say everyone can still see Karuna in ecstasy. Y'all see that? Whirling dervish. Carmen G, any feedback? Any questions?
So I think it's crazy how like everything works. You know, like how Krishna gives power to all the demigods, and then how like there's souls that go to worship the demigods for like it could be like material things, or like how the gopis did, you know, to like try to get married to Krishna. And how like the demigods work for Krishna, and Krishna's like in every little thing. And and I'm just like trying to wrap my head around it, how Krishna's in everything, and just like the way everything works, to like the littlest things to the biggest things. It's crazy.
Nice. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I think we'll start our practice. Hold on, drop my mouse. Okay, let's see. I'll pull it up so we can all look at it. Share screen. Antavatu phalam tesham. So you can repeat. Tad bhavati alpa medasam. Devan deva yajo yanti. Mad bhakta yanti mam api. Antavat tu phalam tesham. Tad bhavati alpa medasam. Devan deva yajo yanti. Mad bhakta yanti mamapi. So I'm going to have our let's see, is our Mega Shine still here? Mega Shine was on our chant leaders. He's out though. So Antavat tu palam tesham. Antavat tu palam tesham. Antavat tu palam tesham. Antavat tu palam tesham. All right, Karuna, you got to chant it with us. No, you got it. Now let's get it busy.
I'm ready.
Ready? Antavatu palam tesham.
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 Antavatu palam tesham. Palam tesham.
Eat. There you got your apple. Palam. Actually, there's a book called Bhavishya Purana. Have any of you heard of this Bhavishya Purana?
But no, I haven't heard of any Bhavishya Purana.
This book is called The History of the Future. Because Purana is history and Bhavishya is the future. And in this book, it talks about a person named Isis Messiah, who is Kumari Putra, Isha Putra Kumari Garbham, son of God, born of a virgin. And it also talks about Adam and Eve. It talks about the father of a particular race of humans, and his name is Adam. And that Kali, in the form of a snake, not Kali the demigoddess, but Kali the age of Kali, the age of quarrel, approached him and induced him to take the
which story are we talking about?
This is from the Bhavishya Purana, but it's also a story from the Genesis and the Bible.
You read the whole Bhavishya Purana?
No,
like you read all the Vedas?
No. These are I just read excerpts. I don't have a copy of the whole book.
You read what? What did you read? Acronym what?
Pieces, excerpts, pieces.
What's excerpts?
Little pieces.
Where did you get them?
By someone sent me a file, computer file.
Oh well, okay. I guess someone else got them, and then it goes through whole the simplest succession of this computer file.
So in the book it says, Kali came to Adam. The snake came to Adam and Eve, and induced him, told him to take the Ramya Phalam, the fruit of material enjoyment. And he ate that fruit, and Adam, which was like a heavenly being, fell down to earth. And he became the father of a particular race of humans called the Malechas. So there's a whole story there. Huh? Anyway, that was a little sidetrack. That was a little squirrely squirrel. So we'll go.
Really? No. Whatever you say is not a squirrel. It's perfectly on topic.
All right. So Prakash, can you lead the chant, the verse for us? The first two lines.
I repeat?
No, Prakashji.
Antavatu phalam tesham.
Antavatu palam tesham.
Tat bhavati apamedasam medasam.
Tat bhavati alpamedasam. Okay, and again, first line.
Antavatu phalam tesham.
Antavatu palam tesham.
Tad bhavati alpamedasam.
Tad bhavati alpamedasam. Dorita, can you read the first two lines for us?
Antavatu palam tesham.
Antavatu palam tesham.
Antavatu palam tesham.
Antavatu palam tesham.
Tat bhavati alpa medasam.
Tad bhavati alpamedasam. Okay, now close your eyes and say the first line. Okay, so it looks like she did it. She's on mute though, but it looks like she did it.
Can I try?
Yes, go for it.
Antavatu palam tesham.
Okay, keep on going. Keep on going.
What are you talking about? What?
Don't stop. Close your eyes and do 2 lines.
Antavatu param tesham bhavati alpamudasam.
Very close. Well, Meda means brains or intelligence, and Mudha means fool. So let's practice it some more. Antavatu palam tesham.
Antavatu palam tesham.
Tadbhavati alpamedasam.
Tadbhavati alpamedasam.
Devan deva yajoyanti.
Devan deva yashoyanti.
And so I was looking, here's the word devan, means devan, to the demigods. That's why. And then devi yaja, those who worship the demigods. Yanti, they go. So what is yanti? Dorita, what is yanti?
Yanti,
Yes.
go.
Go. Yes.
Van.
Yeah. Antavatu palam tesham.
Antavatu palam tesham.
Oh, I just remembered another way we see this word, another place we see this word anta. How many of you have seen the book Chaitanya Charitamrita?
I have, we have it, but I'm still on the Srimad Bhagavatam. I'm doing a series. My dad told me to do Bhagavad Gītā, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and Chaitanya Bhagavat. So I'm still on the Bhagavatam.
Okay, so look at this. We got our Bhaktivedanta database. You go here, Chaitanya Charitamrita. You have your Adi Leela. Madhya, Adi is beginning with, starting.
Antya Leela.
Yeah, Antya Leela. See, Madhya means middle, Madhya. And Antya means the end. See? Another way.
Is a mistake that there's the ya is or here because there's anta here and there's antya. Is it the same?
Yes. Without bivat. Accepting dharmavat. Savat seems to. Oh, here we got another section, antavat here. Well, antavat in the Bhagavatam right here. Yeah, so vat just means, it seems to mean like the state of, the nature of having an end. Antavatu palam tesham.
Antavatu palam tesham.
Antavatu palam tesham.
Antavatu palam tesham.
Tadbhavati alpamedasam.
Tadbhavati alpamedasam.
Very little brains, little, small, meager intelligence. Why?
Medasam.
Medasam. Because you're looking for something perishable. I really like Matt's point about these giant primordial forces, and we not realizing that they're also temporary.
Can I try the whole verse?
Yeah, go for it.
By myself?
Yep.
Antavatu palam tesham tadbhavati alpamedasam devan devaya joyanti madbhakta yanti mam api.
Antavatu palam teshan tadbhavati alpamedasam. Okay, everyone repeat those 2 lines.
Antavatu palam tesham tad bhavati alpamedasam.
Antavatu palam tesham tad bhavati alpamedasam.
Antavatu palam tesham tad bhavati alpamedasam.
Okay, let's hear, who haven't we heard from? Anna. Let's hear Anna.
Yeah, good idea.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, you
From
repeat.
the first line.
Yes. Antavatu palam tesham.
So, Antavatu palam tesham.
Very nice. Okay, once again.
Antavatu palam tesham.
And what is palam? Is it something you can eat? See or no?
Like the fruit?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
It is a fruit. Yes. Now, when you say palam, what fruit are you thinking of? Mango or apple?
Mango?
I don't know.
Or maybe avocado, because it goes bad very quickly. It is very
Okay.
antavat. Apple, yeah, apple lasts a long time. It has to be something that goes very fast. Antavatu palam tesham.
Antavatu palam tesham.
Okay, Dana K. Let's get Dana K on here.
Oh no.
You want to do one word at a time?
Sure.
Antavat.
Atavant.
Antavat.
Atavat.
Tupalam.
Tupalam.
Tesham.
Tesham.
Yeah, so this word tesham is going to be them, their, those. It's all about like their, out of them. Move the camera over here. Tesham, you see? Out of them, their, unto them, for them, all of them, out of that, all of them, those, them, those, them, them.
There's so many teshams.
Yeah, tesham is a key word there. Okay. Move this over here.
How about cha? Imagine how much cha would be very keyword. Check it out and shall we see how much?
That would be, yeah, crazy. Okay, so we got Dana K. Antavat to.
Antavant to.
Antavat
Antavant.
Tupalam
Tupalam.
Tesham
Tesham.
Tad Bhavati.
Tad Bhavanti.
Bhavati. No N, no N.
Bhavant. Bhavanti. Bhavant.
Bhavati.
Bhavati.
Yeah.
Bhavati. Got it.
Bhavati, Bhavan. Bhava means to become. It's like the verb to be. To be, to become. There's a famous verse in the Bhagavad Gītā, yam yam smaran, yam yam vapi smaram bhavam, chajati ante kalevaram, tam evaiti kunde, sadadhad bhava, bhavitaha.
Which Bhagavad Gītā verse is that?
Verse 8, chapter 8, text 6. Krishna says, whatever you're thinking at the time of death, that you become.
Chapter 8, text 6?
Yes.
Oh, that's Masarveshu Kaleshu?
No, that's yum, 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 yum.
Oh, yeah. I know 8-7. That's Masarveshu Kaleshu.
Yes, yes. Therefore, that's, and then he follows that verse, say, therefore, always think of me. So the bhavati, they become, I don't know how it relates to this verse. How does that become fits in here? I don't know. I don't know why we covered that. That had some confusion there. Alpa.
Did you have?
So Dana K. Alpa Medasam.
Okay. Alpa made hasa. Hasam.
Tam. Alpa,
Alpa,
Medha,
Medha,
Sam,
Sam,
Devan Deva,
Devan Deva,
Yajo Yanti,
Yajo Yanti,
Mad Bhakta,
Mad Bhakta,
Yanti,
Yanti,
Mamapi,
Mamapi,
Antavat,
Antavat,
Tupalam Te Sham,
Tupalam Tesham,
Tad Bhavati,
Tad Bhavanti,
Alpa Medasam,
Alpa Medhasam,
Devan Deva,
Devan Deva,
Yajo Yanti,
Yajo Yanti,
Mad Bhakta,
Mad Bhakta,
Yanti Mamapi.
Yantama Api.
He has a nice rhythm there.
Yes.
Like the drum going on. Like just need a musical. All right, Dorita, you want to give it a shot? Whole line?
What?
All,
Dorita.
all verse.
Yes, yes.
Antavattu palam tesham tad bhavati alpamedasam devam devaya yanti madbhakta yanti mamapi.
Yes. All right, and let's see who can. Prakash, you want to give it a whole shot? He's been working at it.
Antavattu phalam tesham tad bhavati alpamedasam devan deva yajo yanti madbhakta yanti mamapi.
Carmen G in El Paso, Texas.
Okay.
I tagged your picture yesterday.
Oh, I saw.
Yeah, I was really my profile picture. Carmen's in the profile picture on the right side of the picture.
What
Not
do
in
you
the
mean
not in
profile
the
picture?
Facebook.
Okay, we're gonna get into a big squirrel.
Yeah.
Do I go?
Yes.
Okay. Antavattu palam tesham tad bhavati alpa medasham devan deva yajo yanti madbhakta yanti mam api.
Very nice, very nice. And I see Mary B is there. Hare Krishna, Mary B, welcome. Nice to meet you. Where are you from originally?
Originally from Pittsburgh.
All right.
And now in Pittsburgh again. Thank you for asking.
Where'd you go in the middle? Where'd you go in between?
Oh, I'm sorry, Indiana and Chicago.
Okay. Nice. All right. Well, great to have you. Nice to meet you.
I'm just popping in for a quick hello. So
Thank you. Nice.
Can I try the whole? I try the whole verse one more time?
Yes. Oh, your hand's raised there.
Antavattu palam tesham tad bhavatya alpamedasam devan deva yajo yanti madbhakta yanti mamapi.
Very nice. Thank you.
You heard me good?
Very good. So those who are new, this may seem very challenging. What we do is, what the homework is you start off with that verse and you just practice a little bit every day, maybe once or twice, but when we go on next week and we have another verse, and you're going to do this verse and that verse, and they all kind of, it's like the lyrics of a song. They begin to stick when you sing them together, when it's all together. So imagine you're on verse number 8. That means verse 1 you've been reciting for 8 weeks straight. So it may seem very hard. And even if you don't remember, Dana K, do you have every single verse memorized?
No, I've been trying to work on it though this past week.
Yeah, so even if you don't remember,
I got everything.
even if you don't remember, it's a great pleasure to be here and like just dig into the verses anyway. But it can be done. It can be done. The first verse on the first day is hard, but when we keep that in our repertoire and then we add another verse after it and recite those two together, and we add another verse after that and recite those three together, and we add another verse after that and recite those
You know, by the way, I memorized Bahunam 719, 720. I can't remember 721. 722. I know is something
Okay. Let's hear from-
something Sarayayutas. And
Okay,
then
start with verse 19. Let's hear it.
Bahunam Janmanam Ante Gyanavan Mam Prapajite Vasudeva Sarvam Iti Samahatma Sudurlabaha
Kamasaster
Jnanam Prapadyante Nyadevata Tam Tam Diyam Prakritya Niyata Swaya
Yo yo yam yam tanu bhakta shada architam ichati asatashara shadham tameva vigyadamaham sataya shadaya
Yes, Sataya. Sataya Shadaya Yukta Tasya Radha Namihate Labate Chatata Kaman Maeva Vihitan Hitan
antavatu palam desham
Tadbhavati Alpamidesam Devan Devaya Juyanti Madhakta Yunti Mamapi.
So Karuna, whenever you practice all of them together as a song.
Okay.
Yeah, practice all of them
Yeah.
together. Because
Actually, it's
look how long that took. That took to recite those verses took about 30 seconds. So you put them all together because then they'll become very strong together. They'll be strongly placed in the memory.
You know, actually, I've been doing that always. Monday, Wednesday, Friday for my studies. I don't go to school, but one of the things on my list is shloka recitation and shloka memorization.
Okay, everybody should go to Karuna's shloka.
So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I do recitation. Tuesday, Thursday, I learn a new verse. So on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I just recite all my shlokas like as a song.
Nice. See, there you go. We got an acharya, someone who teaches by example here. I can all follow.
What?
Yes. Very good. Thank you for teaching.
Acharya?
Acharya, that's what it means. Someone who teaches by example. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I'm not teaching.
Yeah, prachar is what you speak, and achar is what you're doing. So you're doing it. You're doing it.
But just sometimes I get a little reluctant with the memorization.
Yeah. So then you call a friend and you tell them, hey, I want to share some verses with you, and then you tell them. So everybody,
Actually,
let's follow
sometimes
example, and we do practice every
follow whose example?
Karuna's example.
What?
Yes, follow the example and recite every day, all string. Especially, it becomes a little harder if you have different verses that are separate, different chapters. But things like this, when we do a chapter, one section, it all makes sense together. Like Matt was saying, you said you saw the previous verse. You see there, or who else was saying? Prakashji was saying, oh, look, this verse, that verse, they're all on the same subject, so they all make sense together. They all lead into each other. Any last comments or questions? I think we're just about at the end of our time. We usually go.
Did over 108 minutes.
108, yeah, we usually go 108. That's about it.
Okay. 1 hour, 8 minutes.
Yeah, I know Karuna, she wants to do it for 3 hours, but then everybody, we have to have. Everyone will run out of it.
No, I just like to have
like 2 hours. 2 hours is her favorite, but.
You remember last day we did 3 hours? 1 hour was messages. 3 hours shloka guru. Oh, then I gotta leave.
Say it.
Could we see her video quickly before she leaves?
Who's that?
Dan K.
Daddy K. Okay, give us a wave. Can you turn your video on? There we go. Hi, Krishna. Are you at the beach?
Hi, Dan K.
Let me turn off this screen. Where are you? At the beach?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Wow. God. Awesome.
What a nice picture.
Nice. Well, great to see you.
You're gonna go swim. That's why you're busy.
Oh, it looks like it was cold.
No, it's chilly. It's chilly. So
Yeah.
I thought it was summer there.
Before we started. So
No, not summer here. Not summer here. No.
Here it's winter. Here's
Yep.
winter, but today we went to the capital of Lebanon called Beirut. And today was a sunny day. It was so hot. I wore short sleeve in winter.
wow.
Oh my God. Well, that's like here in Texas.
And even now I'm still short sleeve because we have we have heatings.
So Prakashti Dorita Ala.
Right. Bye, Dan K.
Any last comments, questions, Matt? Oh, even Dougie's there. He's doing the verses.
Nice doggy.
So, Matt, any questions? Anything you want to share?
Do you generally, are you doing every Sunday, so you do one verse, one text per week?
Yes. And we have a WhatsApp group, and they set up times. They try to set up times to do extra practice on this verse, previous verses.
Okay.
Didn't receive the
Jump in.
email because Chapu gave me the Zoom meeting. So
Okay.
how can I send you my email?
Well, if you go to wisdomofthesages.com, click on groups, click on Shloka group, you'll find my email, and you can email me, and I'll send everything to you.
I will do it right now.
If I write on YouTube, I just write wisdomofthesages.com. It'll give me all the things they have. Bhaktika group, Wisdom of Sages, Shloka group, like that.
Yeah, Anna, do you have my? Have you sent me an email yet?
Yes, I think I sent you an email to
Okay, so
log
you-
in from the
have
Patreon.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
thank you.
Okay, good. Great to have you. Very
No, thank you. Thank you for everything.
So we meet. You can go on the WhatsApp, and you can find people at whatever time is good for whoever, whenever. And then every Sunday, right after the show, we dive into whatever verse we're in. We get into we try to dig in. We get a lot of inspiration. So thank you all for being here. Om Tat Sat.
thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Hi, Krishna.
By the way, okay, I just wanted to know if all everything was okay. If anyone who wants to leave, they can leave. But can I just get to know Anna's hero a little bit?
Okay, I'll stop the recording, and you can see if